Good morning, everyone. Welcome them as they come across, and then we will begin shortly.
Yeah, looks so. You're driving yourself. Yeah, the big shit.
All right. All right. Let's give them another round of applause. And we're going to begin. So as you please remain standing. Again, good morning to everyone. Good morning, everybody. All right, make sure you're here with me. All right, so we're going to stand and we're going to invite Miss Vita Greenwood from the Long Look for Gospel Sunday School to open us in prayer. The National Learning Center and staff with the territorial song.
Father, we want to thank you for this wonderful day. This is the day you have made, and we are rejoicing, especially the children. Pray that as we go through the proceedings of this ceremony, that and for your honor. And so we say thank you for
God save our gracious King, long live our noble King. God save our King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the King.
Thank you, Ms. Winrose. Thank you to the students of Eslyn, Henley, and the staff for leading us in a territorial song. What a fitting way to open the celebration. Do you think so? All right, you may be seated. Thank you again. His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Daniel Proust, and Social Development, Honorable Vincent Wheatley, Minister of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, the Honorable Shirley D. Castro, Deputy Governor, Dr. David D. Archer Jr., Junior Minister of Financial Services and Economic Development, the Honorable Lorna G. Smith, Junior Minister of Culture and Tourism, Honorable Luce D. Hart Smith, Chairman of the Teaching Service Commission, Mr. Wade Tobin, Deputy Financial Secretary for the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Jeremy Vanterpool, Permanent Secretary in the Cabinet Office, Ms. Sandra Ward, Acting Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, Mr. Claude Kettle, Chief Education Officer, Mrs. Orlando Crabb, all heads of departments, Deputy Chief Education Officer, Mrs. Haida Selwood, other education officers present, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Anthony McMaster, and the entire team at the Recovery and Development Agency, Dr. Sauda Smith, I know, Ms. Kim, I see you, Executive Director of Unite BVI, Mr. Dion Crabb, and the team of Outland Construction, all partners of this fine institution, past principals and staff, special invited guests, members of the Eslyn Henley family of Miss Eslyn Henley, principals and staff of other schools, members of GIS, principal and staff of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center, parents, students, good morning. Good morning. Hope I didn't miss anybody, but good morning. On behalf of the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, and the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center family, I warmly welcome each of you to this historic, exciting, long-awaited, and joyous occasion this morning. The official opening and dedication of the new home of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center. I think that deserves a round of applause. It's been a long time, but we're finally here. My name is Mrs. Afia Smith. I am the Education Officer for Special Education and the Liaison Officer of this fine institution. Today is not just a ribbon-cutting exercise. It is a testimony of resilience. It is a story of the ministry, teachers, students, parents, and supporters who believe that new beginnings are possible. So at this time, I will invite Mr. Jerry Smith, the chairman of the RDA Board of Directors, to bring us welcome remarks. All right, it's a representative, Mr. Marquis. So give him a round of applause as he comes with our welcome remarks.
Hi, good morning all. I am not Jerry Samuel. Definitely not. So, good morning. I'd like to acknowledge the protocol that you have eloquently established. That was quite a mouthful, and I hope I wouldn't have to go through the whole thing, but I would like to give special acknowledgement to His Excellency, the Governor, obviously to the Cabinet and the Ministers, especially to the Honorable for Education. I want to congratulate you on getting this done. On behalf of Mr. Samuel, who is in here today, he had a engagement this morning with the court, and he sends his regards. He sent me in its place, so here I am. All right. So on behalf of the colleagues on the board, the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Anthony McMaster, and the staff of the RDA, I welcome everyone to this event for the opening of this spectacular structure. I am Marquis Maduro. I'm a board member of the RDA. Sorry about that. We are delighted to be here today to officially open the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center. As noted by the Honorable Minister of Education Force, this is a force purpose-built special education school in the OECS region. It was just over 2 years ago, on the 25th August 2023, that a similar gathering was held on this site for the construction contract signing for this facility. On this very site, 2 years ago, our Minister of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, Honorable Shari B. De Castro, declared this project to be one, and I quote, with immense promise for the future of the Virgin Islands, reflective of a history of resilience, determination, and unwavering commitment. I am pleased to report today that that promise declared 2 years ago, that promise made 2 years ago is indeed a promise kept. The Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency, in our remit to build the BVI stronger, smarter, greener, and better since 2018, has delivered priority projects in key sectors across the territory. These projects have all been aimed towards accomplishment of our recovery to development plan's vision of a high quality of life for all. Education has been the sector most impacted by the work of the RDA. Since 2018, the agency has partnered with the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports to deliver over 26 million of education infrastructure improvement thus far. This has translated into rehabilitated schools, including the Elmore Stout High School and the Brigado Flax Educational Center, as well as full campus rebuilding of the Just Van Dyke Multipurpose Educational Facility, and today, the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center. These investments have meant over 1,900 students in improved conditions, more conducive to learning. Investments in education have represented 46%, or nearly half, of the capital investment into the territory facilitated by the agency. This evidences what we know as Virgin Islanders, what is echoed in our territorial song. Educating our people is the golden key to maintain the success of this territory. Education has been and remained central to the development of these Virgin Islands, or to the development story, of these Virgin Islands. The construction and outfitting of this Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center stands as a testament to our government's commitment to providing resources and support to our most vulnerable, including the differently abled. This state-of-the-art facility for children with disabilities represents fulfillment of the government's promise to provide an education to every child, regardless of abilities or disability, and education that is tailored to their individual needs. The project scope of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center has included design and construction of a reinforced concrete structure, some 8,556 square feet, consisting of a reception area, principal's office, staff room, classrooms, sensory and therapy rooms, outdoor learning spaces, library and media room, kitchen and nurse station, hygiene and restrooms, utility space, and playground and green spaces, including a rain garden. The project reached substantial completion in August 2025, with only a few items left to be tied off. I am pleased to report that the staff and students of the school have already settled into their new home. The Grizzlies' new home. As they said when the march came in, what did they say? We are home. So I want to give that a round of applause, please. Teaching and learning in a purpose-built space resumed several weeks ago, following years of displacement. The design and management consultant, Tiger Chi, began the design process in August 2019, and the successful contractor, Outland Heavy Equipment Company Limited, began construction of the school in September 2023. With our oversight by the RDA and works by the RDA program delivery and procurement teams in securing construction and outfitting, all facilitating successful delivery of this project. I publicly acknowledge the stellar work of Mrs. Shana Smith-Archer, RDA Director of Program Delivery, and Mr. Sergio Dantas, Contract Supervisor and Project Manager, along with the consultant, Ms. Lavina Liebert of Tiger Chi, and contractor, Mr. Dion Crab of Outland Heavy Equipment, as he sits with his family here today, for their work in ensuring that this project has become a reality. In terms of funding, the project has been made possible by the government of the Virgin Islands through allocation of funding from the Rehabilitation and Reconstruction Loan borrowed from the Caribbean Development Bank, alongside direct contributions. The agency has worked closely with the Ministry of Finance and CDB teams to keep the promise made. The Maples Group's stellar donation of $70,000 to outfit the school's sensory and therapy rooms, providing wall and floor padding, therapeutic swings, play ball pit, obstacle course set, climbing wall panels, among other furnishings and equipment to facilitate comprehensive learning approaches for students. A member of the RDA board, opting to remain anonymous, who has donated his monthly remuneration over the last several months to the completion of this project. Other donors included Unite BVI through the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs, and Sports. While we know the government's commitment is certain when it comes to rebuilding the territory and must highlight our donors, our recovery and development partners who continue to help us as a territory to get important work done. In that vein, I invite the students of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center to present, and representatives from the Maples Group and Unite BVI to accept a small token of our appreciation. So my colleagues tell me the basket was a little too heavy for the kids, so the teachers are kind of helping us out. All right, so can I get a round of applause for Unite BVI first, please? And can I get a round of applause for the Maples Group, please? As the agency transitions to permanence as the Virgin Islands Development Agency over the coming months, we redouble our commitment to efficiently deliver quality results to the people of the Virgin Islands. We look forward to our continued partnership with the government of the Virgin Islands, our private sector, and our non-government partners, and the wider community in resolving challenges and advancing our territory's development. The vision for our territory's advancement is great, and we are happy to play our part in seeing developments through, from planning to fruition. It is my hope that the principal, faculty, students, and community cherish and preserve this important investment in our future and in the future of these Virgin Islands. I thank you.
Thank you for your words, your kind words to us today, as this is not only a celebration, as I mentioned earlier, of what has been built, but also a partnership and teamwork that has been made possible. So before I invite our next speaker, I would just like to give us a brief honor the legacy of this fine institution. So ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate this new beginning, we also remember the foundation on which it was built. This year, on the 12th of October, 1972, the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center was officially opened. A brief history lesson. So yesterday, the school marked 53 years of existence in the Virgin Islands, a milestone that reminds us of decades of dedication and love poured into this institution. The school bears the name of Miss Eslyn Henley Richiez, a pioneer in special education in the Virgin Islands. She was born in 1924. She devoted her life to caring for children, especially those with disabilities, both abroad and at home. So when the British Red Cross Society opened the Fort Charlotte Children's Center in 1972 to meet the educational needs of children with severe handicaps, it was Miss Eslyn Henley who became the school's first principal. Her vision, sacrifices, and unwavering belief in children of all abilities laid the foundation for what we now know as the Henley Richiez Learning Center. So she was not only a teacher, but a nurturer, a woman of faith, and a devoted community servant. Though she passed away in 1995, before the school was renamed in her honor, her work in special education and her example of love and resilience continues to live on. So let us pause to remember the woman whose name this institution proudly bears, Miss Eslyn Henley Richiez. Though she is no longer with us, her legacy lives on in every child who learns, grows, and thrives here at this institution. So at this time, I may invite the relatives who are here to stand to be recognized. Any family member of Miss Eslyn Henley who is here, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. The Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center is more than a school. It is a sanctuary where students with special educational needs are nurtured, empowered, and celebrated. This new building is a continuation of her proud legacy, a gift to every child who will pass through its doors. At this time, we'll have remarks by our Honorable Shari Castro, the Minister of Education, Youth Affairs, and Sports. Give her a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. I want you to sing a lot more jovial than that because it is an amazing day. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much. And let me acknowledge the protocol established. And most importantly, I want to acknowledge the reason we are here today. The students of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center. Please give them a round of applause. I've entitled my speech today, From Rubble to Rebirth. That is the story of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center. For context, in 2017, the winds roared and the walls fell. Chaos swept across these islands, tearing away not only buildings, but for a time, our sense of normalcy. Yet even in the midst of destruction, there flickered something divine, a determination, a dream, a design for renewal. Out of the chaos came clarity. Out of the ruin came resolve. And so today, out of that rubble rises this rebirth, the new Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center, the proud home of the Grizzlies and the first purpose-built special education facility of its kind in the entire OECS region. Please give that a round of applause. When the storms stripped us bare, they also gave us something sacred, the opportunity to begin again, intentionally this time. To not just rebuild what was, but to reimagine what could be. This school today stands as the embodiment of that reimagining. Every single beam, every brick, every design decision was deliberate. We did not simply reconstruct, we redesigned. We did not simply reopen, we rebirthed. And so this is a structure born of purpose, intentionally crafted to meet the diverse, dynamic needs of our exceptional learners here today. Here in this new facility, architecture meets empathy. Here, space itself speaks the language of inclusion, with sensory rooms, therapeutic spaces, accessibility features, and technology designed to meet every learner exactly where they are. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just a school. This is a statement that here in the Virgin Islands, every child matters, every mind belongs, and every ability has value. But I want to remind you, Rebirth is not only about the building that is next to us. It is about the spirit that fills it. And so I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the many persons that embolden this space. For context, across the territory, we now have 18 special education teachers and over 20 learning support assistants, each one a pillar of patience and professionalism in our community. I want you to give them a round of applause. And of course, as we raised this structure from the ground up, we made sure that we began rebuilding the human framework of special education across the territory. I want to acknowledge the staff here at the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center, made up of a principal who is a trained special education professional, 3 special education teachers, 2 general education teachers, 2 learning support assistants, 1 counselor, 1 PE teacher, 1 music teacher, and 1 custodian. I took the time to explain who they are because they are the bedrock of this institution. And of course, across the territory, to strengthen the network of support around them, we have created new positions, one of which we have already filled, an education assessment specialist. And soon we hope to fill our new behavioral specialist, occupational therapist, and school nurse, each intentionally designed to support the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the careful construction of capacity, teacher by teacher, therapist by therapist, role by role, ensuring that this rebirth is sustainable, that it is supported, and that it can stand the test of time. I also want to acknowledge the team at the Ministry of Education, the engineers of policy and the builders of opportunity, the steady hands behind the scaffolding of progress. And among them, I must especially highlight Mrs. Afia Smith, or Education Officer for Exceptional Education. She continues to drive this vision forward, helping to spearhead its growth, the structure, and the soul of special education in the Virgin Islands. Before I go any further, I ask that we take a moment of silence and stand to remember our colleague, Mr. Jamal Jones, our former Finance and Planning Officer, who so generously gave of himself, driving the bus each morning during the school's relocation, ensuring that our students could safely continue their education. May his service and commitment forever be remembered. A moment of silence. Thank you very much. As we thought on the day to officially reopen this institution, while it was met with delay, we believed it was the perfect opportunity for recognition. Yesterday, October 12th, marked the 53 years since this vision was first built, when in 1972, the BVI branch of the British Red Cross Society opened the Fort Charlotte Children's Center. And so today is a fitting day for the reopening, a day that bridges our past and our future, honoring the foundation that was laid while embracing the new chapter that begins. In 1972, and at its helm, as stated, stood Miss Eslyn Henley, a woman of vision and heart, the first principal, the builder of this brave beginning. So today, as we open this new home that bears her name, 8 years after the devastation of 2017, we are reminded that 8 symbolizes new beginnings. And so, this moment stands as both a tribute and a turning point, honoring where we began and embracing what we are becoming. This is more than a new building. To her family, this is a continuation of a legacy, rebuilt, reborn, and reimagined. And to our students, our Grizzlies, you are the heartbeat of this rebirth. This school was built just for you. Every room was designed with you in mind. You are not defined by your limits. You are defined by limitless potential. And so we will continue to build for you and with you to give you the skills, the support, and the confidence you need to step into the world ready to live fully, to work proudly, and to stand independently. I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge a representative from Right Way. I see her there sitting humbly, but I want to acknowledge her at this point because 2 students who are a part of our apprenticeship program last year, they graduated from this institution and they now work at RTW. Please give them a round of applause. To the principal and teachers of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center, it takes a special kind of patience, a sacred kind of passion to do what you do each day. You are nurturers, advocates, and architects of hope. You take the hands of our children and guide them gently but firmly towards their fullest potential. For every moment you spend adapting lessons, for every small victory you celebrate, for every ounce of compassion that you pour into this place, every single day, we want to say thank you. Thank you for answering the call. Thank you for standing at the front lines of this transformation. Thank you for being the steady heartbeat of this rebirth. And of course, I have to acknowledge the parents and families. Your patience has been tested. Your perseverance has been proven. For 8 long years, you waited, you advocated, you pushed for progress. You did not only help to build this building, you helped to build a system that listens, a system that learns, and most importantly, a system that loves your children as deeply as you do. Parents, your advocacy lit the path that brought us here today. And so today we acknowledge you and we thank you for believing and we thank you for standing firm with us. Please give them a round of applause. To the government of the Virgin Islands, Premier, Cabinet, colleagues, as Minister of Education, I stand proudly on behalf of the government today because this moment is ours. We made a conscious decision to invest, to see education not as an expense, but as an enduring investment in the soul of our society. Through our collective efforts and commitment, we have reaffirmed our belief in building not just schools, but futures, not just infrastructure, but impact. This is investment, this is renewal, and this is resolve. And I acknowledge you for the millions that you would have invested in this project that will ultimately support generations of Virgin Islanders. Please give the government a round of applause. And lastly, I also wish to acknowledge our partners in this remarkable project. The Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency, CEO, and your team for their partnership and export project management. Of course, to the architect, Ms. Leiboard, for brilliance in design. And of course, to the contractor, Utland Construction, for bringing our vision to reality and building a world-class facility. Please give them all a round of applause. And to our partners for progress in education, namely Unite BVI and Maples Group. And I also see Ojez here with us and other partners for progress that support this amazing institution. We want to thank you for your generosity. To Unite and Maples, you supported the furnishing of this school, and your contribution has helped to transform infrastructure and building into a home, a place where learning and love will coexist for years to come. I also want to especially recognize the Association of Reef Keepers, who led the mandate alongside inmates from His Majesty's prison and other valued volunteers in creating the beautiful sensory rain garden that is behind me today. On the tour, you'll get to see that amazing addition to our school, and so we thank them. As I close, this is an overwhelming moment for all of us, because as we open these doors, we understand the magnitude of this moment. This is not just the rebirth of a school. This is the rebirth of special education in the Virgin Islands. We have rethought, redesigned, and recommitted ourselves to building a system that caters to every child, a system that sees every learner not as an exception, but as an essential part of our educational landscape. This report represents more than restoration. It represents renaissance, a reawakening of our collective will to create an education system that is inclusive, innovative, and inspired. And so as we cut this ribbon and step inside this magnificent home of learning, may we remember what it took to get here. From rubble, resilience. From storms, strength. From loss, light. From devastation, determination. And from ruin, rebirth. The Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center now stands today as a living testament of what we can build when our vision is clear and our hearts are committed. May it forever remind us that even when the winds of adversity blow, we in the Virgin Islands will always find the courage to be resilient, to rebuild, to reimagine, and most importantly, to be reborn. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, for your visionary leadership and for keeping the needs of our children at the center of education. I love the phrase, ruin to rebirth. I'm going to take that for the rest of the year. At this time, we'll invite Honorable Kairaima, the representative of this district, to give some brief remarks. And before he comes, I want to acknowledge the presence of the Premier and Minister of Finance, Honorable Natalia Whitley. Sorry, ma.
Good morning. I want to acknowledge the protocol that was ably established. I also recognize the Premier, Minister of Finance. I want to start today by asking a question. How many of you would have lived with someone with special needs? Give me a show of hands. I ask that question today because I have done that. All my life, I grew up with an uncle with special needs. So I understand exactly the importance of this edifice today. My uncle, he was always hardworking. He was kind, loving. I'm saying was, but he still is here. He was hardworking. He is hardworking. He has slowed down now. But I say that to say, though, that with special needs, you would respect his space. You dare not touch anything that he has because it would be trouble with you and him. He always walked in a set pattern, especially if it's something that he does on a regular occasion. And for me, that helped me to understand how it is to deal with someone with special needs. You respected their space, and you respect that, at days they will be not the same that they were yesterday. But it was quite important for them. It taught me patience. It taught me respect as well. So to the parents with children with special needs, today I recognize you because I know it's not an easy task raising a child with special needs. Today, I'm standing here because I'm the representative for the 5th District, and I feel so good knowing that this is in our community. I think you could give me a round of applause for that, right? I'm not just here because this center is in my district. Not because it's the first of its kind, as was mentioned in the OECS, though indeed that is exceptional for our small community. I'm not here also just because of the Minister of Education and the work you've done in terms of making sure you see this through, or even the government of the Virgin Islands. I'm here because this reopening is meaningful to me because it touched my family. And I could say, my nephew Khalil, the past teachers would know that he attended this school for 10 years. Anybody remember Khalil? He went to this school for about 10 years, and my sister, she relocated to the United States for additional assistance with him, for him. And today, proudly, I can say that he has graduated. He's a bit more calmer. He's a bit more understanding. And I know this facility would facilitate the students that need that additional help. When I spoke to Khalil recently, he remembered the past teachers. Miss Elaine Lewis, Miss Magdalene Allister, Miss Christopher, and the past principal, Miss Huggins. And I wouldn't tell you some of the stories he told me, but he just wanted them to be acknowledged for, his being here at this school. So it's a testament to how important these facilities are. And I just want to say congratulations to Miss Alistair. This came from Khalil for becoming the new principal. Miss Alistair, where are you? Miss Alistair, he remembered you, and he says congratulations to you. But we look forward to the future under your leadership, and we trust that this renewed facility provides a learning environment that meets the need and the learning style for the differently abled in our community. This facility just doesn't represent classrooms. It represents the possibilities. It represents a place where, you may have the first artist emerging from this school, a budding entrepreneur who might emerge from this school, and where children with different needs receive the tailored support to thrive. I think that deserves a round of applause. I just want to make sure that you're here with me. When a government invests in education like this, the benefits are a ripple effect. You build stronger families, safer neighborhoods, and new opportunities that brings hope. And we must continue to invest in our teacher training. I think that is important, Minister. Inclusive resources and partnership with parents and specialists so that every child can access a learning environment suited for them. To put this into perspective, global and regional data indicate a meaningful number of children have different learning needs. Recent estimates put autism prevalence in many places at roughly 1% to 2% of children with higher identification in some countries. That reality is reflected here in the Caribbean and underscores why dedicated, understanding, and well-resourced learning spaces are so important. So today, as we cut this ribbon, we open not just doors, but opportunities. We tell our children, we see you, we value you, and we are investing in your future. We tell our teachers and our staff, your work matters, and you have our support. To our teachers, we appreciate what you do. I know it's not an easy fed dealing with children with special needs, but we appreciate you. So I say, welcome home to Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center. And I say, even though you've been here for nearly a month, we say, welcome back. And, welcome back to the 5th District. Again, I said thank you. Thank you for this commitment, this dedication to reopening this school. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Honorable Reimer, for your remarks this morning. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Deputy Speaker of the House and 1st District Representative, the Honorable Dr. Carl Dawson. So at this time, we'll now have remarks by the Honorable Premier, Dr. Natalia. Okay, all right, so we'll now have a dance by a student of this fine institution, Miss Alicia McDonald. So she's going to do a dance for us this morning. Put your hands together for her. Make her feel welcome.
Yeah, I waited for a miracle, almost gave up every time I fell. I had waited on you to my prayer. Now I know you hear me when I pray. I waited for a miracle, almost gave up every time I fell.
Come on, let's put our hands together again for Alicia. That was amazing. She's one of our most confident students. So when you go wrong, make sure you interact with her. She has a lot to tell you. All right, so she's been one of our longest students in this institution. She's been here from the original spot on the other side. So she is one of our longest students here, and she has grown tremendously. And you can see that this morning. Thank you again, Alicia. At this time, we will call Dr. Martin Baptiste, Division Chief of the Social Sector Division of Caribbean Development Bank, to give his remarks. Welcome him as he comes.
Good morning. And of course, I stand on the established protocol, but of course, I wish to acknowledge Excellency Governor, Deputy Governor, and of course, the Premier, and of course, Minister De Castro. We missed you in Barbados, but we understand that you had duties that you must deal with, and we look forward to supporting you as you continue to work in this side of the Caribbean. Friends, today I stand here to bring you greetings and to extend how delighted we are to be part of this celebration. And of course, I'm here speaking on behalf of the President and management of the Caribbean Development Bank, who has partnered and supported the government in bringing to fruition this important facility here. I remember coming post-Irma. In fact, I was a member of the team that came in the aftermath of the storm to see how we can support the Virgin Islands. And it is at that time that the government included this center as part of its reconstruction efforts. And that's important because it said that here you have a territory, a government that understood that if we are going to make sure that we focus on education that is inclusive, in times when we are looking at reconstructing after a devastation, that the support and attention to those who are exceptional in our midst must not be an afterthought, but must be part of the deliberate, intentional crafting of priorities in supporting learning for all. And that's something to be commended. And of course, we stand here today glad that you are at this point, but equally delighted that you have been able to come to this point. Friends, the data says that about 15% of the population across the world are persons with special needs. And when the minister asked how many persons know of or live with persons with special needs, if we were to take all of the special needs that exist in the population, every one of us would have our hands up. But of course, there are those special needs that are not very evident, but they do exist in those in whom we love. Our new president has promulgated a rebirth vision of the bank, predicated on 3 pillars of innovate, transform, and thrive. And as I sat here listening to the remarks and understanding how important this facility is, I could not help but considering that this is a very good expression of the president's new vision. It's a symbol of innovation. And in rebuilding it, as we will see later on, there was a deliberate attempt not just to reconstruct 4 walls, but to transform the space in such a way that it invites not only engagement and innovation, but a space where learners can be empowered to become the best that they can be. Because ultimately, even though we innovate and we transform, the ultimate goal is to thrive. And the evidence that we have done our work is in not just providing access to learning, but to show success in learning, as our dear student showed us now, in terms of being able to demonstrate learning and competence and capacity in ways that show the full demonstration of the human personhood. And so today, even as we celebrate with you, we want to commend the government for its continued work in supporting special needs education. At the CDB, we have done extensive work in special needs. Last year, we published a regional assessment on special needs education. We also published our model policy and strategy for special needs. But it is in these facilities that the bank is able to show supporting countries that we move from assessment to plan to realities that impact the lives and experiences of not only the teachers, but the learners. I want to end by just making one last point. Across the region, we have done well in education. We've universalized primary education, secondary education as well, and we're well on our way to going to massifying tertiary education. We have invested heavily in education across the region, and in the Virgin Islands, you have done so as well. But Premier and Minister, as you know, the capacity of an education system is seen by the extent to which it's able to provide for the learning from early childhood right on to post-secondary and tertiary. You've done that very well. The competence of the system is shown by the range of skills that it delivers and puts on display to make sure every learner succeeds. So, Minister, when you were talking about the behavioral psychologists, and so that is really excellent. But it is true to say, beyond capacity and competence, the character of an education system is how well it treats those who are exceptional in our midst. And may I say, this system in the Virgin Islands has character. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for those remarks. Indeed, character. Those who know me know I say that all the time. All right. So today's celebration gives us the ideal opportunity to usher in the school Spirit Week. So this week is also Spirit Week at Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center. Spirit Week is more than just fun activities. It's a time for our students and staff to shine, to showcase their creativity, their talents, and the spirit that carried them through challenges. So as we reflect on the journey of the school, from its humble beginnings under the leadership of Eslyn Henley, through seasons of loss and rebuilding, to this new home, we are reminded that the story of Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center is one of resilience. Just as Spirit Week brings out the energy and joy of our students, today highlights the strength and hope of this school community, soon to be the proud home of the Grizzlies, always striving for excellence. So this week is Spirit Week. You're free to drop by. If you don't get to see everything today, you can come by over the course of this week, and I'm sure the staff would accommodate you very well. At this time, we welcome the contractor of this lovely edifice. I'm going to leave my statement for after he's finished. Mr. Dion Crabb of Outland Construction. Let's welcome him as he gives his remarks this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I see you, Minister. Okay, I wish to adopt the protocol already established. It is with tremendous pride and heartfelt emotion that I stand before you at the official opening of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center, a beacon of progress, compassion, inclusion in the Virgin Islands education. Today is not just the opening of a new building. It is a realization of a vision, one that reflects who we are as Virgin Islanders, a people who care, who innovate, who build with purpose. This moment marks the start of a new chapter for the students with exceptional learning habits. One where access, safety, belonging are built into the very foundation of the learning environment. The school stands proudly as one of the first newly constructed special needs schools in the whole OECS. This is a historic milestone for the Virgin Islands and the Caribbean region. The closest newly constructed facility is the Exceptional Learning Center in Guyana. And before that, the last school built with this nature is one in the Cayman Islands that was built in 2001. That's almost 2 decades ago. So today we celebrate the Virgin Islands' leadership in demonstrating that inclusion is not just a distant ideal, but it is a reality that we can build. As the Managing Director of Atlan Heavy Equipment and Construction, I cannot express enough of what this project has meant to me and my team. To be entrusted with the construction of a facility of this kind, one that will serve students, has been one of the most fulfilling experiences of our company's history. We approach this project not simply as builders, but as partners on a mission. Every beam, every ramp, every door, every finish, and every classroom was done with intention. We know that this was more than a concrete and steel structure. It is hope. It was designed to a T. And with that, I'd like to express my appreciation for working with the architect on the project. I think she did an excellent job, which is Ms. Lavina Leibord. This project stands as a reminder that local companies in the Virgin Islands have skill. They have the expertise, they have the heart to deliver world-class projects. We don't need to look anywhere to make great things happen. We can build them right here. The Virgin Islands have the hands, we have the Virgin Island pride, and we have Virgin Island expertise. I'm going to get a little personal here, so you'll work with me. This moment holds more than just, it means more to me personally, because the name Eslyn Henley is not just one that I come across doing construction. The name is deeply connected to my family history. Eslyn Henley is actually my second cousin on my mother's side. Her mother, Alice Henley, and my grandmother, Lillian Henley Whitley, they were sisters. So this school bears the name of someone who is not only a national icon, but also a family. Someone whose legacy of service and care continues to inspire us all. I am also the grandson of Howard Crabb. I think most of you guys know him. But let me tell you this, though. He was the first driver to transport kids from Easton to the Denford Charlotte School long before there were paved roads or modern buses. He made sure the children had access to education, no matter how far they had to travel. So, as I stand here today, both as a contractor and a descendant of a man who helped children to get to school, I feel a powerful sense of pride. It reminds me that Atlan's story has always been tied to education in the Virgin Islands, from the transportation of students to now constructing a very school that they would serve them for generations to come. So with that, I want to do something special for the school. I am also proud to share that one of the 4 students of the Fort Charlotte School was Alcido Richard. He has been employed with Atlan Construction even before I was allowed to work in the company. Suki, who he is affectionately called in our yard, is reliable, determined, and living proof that people are not defined by their limitations, but by their possibilities. He shows us every day with opportunity, encouragement, and belief our people can excel in ways to uplift both themselves and the community that they serve. His story is a reminder that when we build space like this one, we are not just simply constructing walls, but we are creating a pathway to purpose, dignity, and independence. So with that said, I am proud to announce, in honor of Alcido Suki Richard and our continued commitment to inclusion and opportunity, we pledge for a partnership with the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center and Atlan Heavy Equipment Construction to provide training, mentorship, and employment pathway for capable students. For capable students who complete this program. This partnership would ensure that what begins within these walls can continue beyond them, that students who are prepared and willing can transition to a meaningful working experience that matches their skills and ambitions. Therefore, this partnership, we aim to affirm that inclusion is not simply a concept, but it is a practice, a promise, and a responsibility that we all should carry. And at Atlan, we intend to continue doing our part to ensure that every young person who dreams of contributing to their community has the chance to do just that. So today, we should really hold our heads high, and feel proud about standing tall, and we should not be afraid to say Virgin Islands pride. We celebrate a facility that represents inclusion, innovation, and local excellence. We honor the educators, the parents, the students, and the builders who made this day possible. May this school forever remind us that inclusion is not just an act of charity, but it is an act of justice. And may it stand for generation as a symbol of what can be accomplished when hearts, history, hard work come together. Congratulations to the Ministry of Education, to Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center, and to the people of the Virgin Islands. We really built something extraordinary together, Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Crab. Try and hold it together. Bear with me. For your remarks. And I would like to say that I personally witnessed Atlas over the last month or 2 months on the job site, and it was never a dull day here. Everything was enjoyable. They made the staff feel welcome. They accommodated their needs while they were here in transition. So we want to just thank them again for their tireless service, not just to building, but making sure that they were comfortable as they transition into this new building this morning. So the faculty and staff of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center have created a book called, where my shirt? I'm proud. Grizzly's New Home, which documents the school's remarkable journey of perseverance and triumph. This book will not only preserve the legacy of the school, but will also inspire generations to come with the truth that every challenge can be transformed into opportunities. So they're working on publishing the book. So when it comes out, please be the first to purchase a copy, right? All right. At this time, we will welcome the Premier of the Virgin Islands, Honorable Dr. Leo Whitney, to give his remarks this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm here rethinking my speaking spot on the program. After that marvelous speech by Mr. Dean Crabbe, give him another round of applause for that. It was heartfelt, it touched the audience. You stay in construction, don't think about politics. And Orlando wrote a great speech. Let's give Orlando a round of applause for that. No, but truly that was an excellent speech to my cousin. Well done. Your Excellency, the Governor, Minister of Education, other members of Cabinet, members of the House of Assembly, Deputy Governor, CEO, education officers, principals, teachers, specially invited guests. I acknowledge a representative from the Caribbean Development Bank, Unite BVI, and all others who have gathered here for this very important occasion. Today marks a proud and transformative moment in the life of our territory. With great joy and deep gratitude, we officially opened the new Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center, a beacon of inclusion, resilience, and educational excellence. This center, first established in 1972, has long stood as a testament to our unwavering commitment to our children, particularly those with special needs. After the devastation of the 2017 hurricanes, we resolved not only to rebuild, but to reimagine what was possible. What stands before us today is not merely a replacement, it is a renewal of purpose, a reflection of who we are as a people. The new facility is state-of-the-art, fully compliant with international accessibility standards, and thoughtfully designed to support up to 30 students with a range of physical, cognitive, and developmental abilities. From the translucent polycarbonate roof that welcomes natural light and ventilation to the sensory and therapy rooms, outdoor classrooms, and rebound therapy trampolines. Every element embodies care, creativity, and compassion. The architectural design inspired by a native iguana creates a sense of calm, dignity, and pride. This is architecture with empathy and construction with purpose, a project that proudly carries the Virgin Islands' identity. We must take a moment to recognize the outstanding efforts that made this possible. I extend my sincere appreciation to the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports under the leadership of the Honorable Shari De Castro for their steadfast commitment to ensuring the completion of this project. I would also like to commend the Recovery and Development Agency for its export management and coordination, as well as Tiger Chi Architecture and Outland Heavy Equipment Company Limited for their skill, perseverance, and professionalism. Together, they have shown that Virgin Islanders are capable of delivering world-class infrastructure that serves the heart of our community. To Principal Magdalene Allister, I extend my warm congratulations and encouragement as you embark on this new chapter. May you continue to nurture your students' talents and curiosity, ensuring that they make the most of this beautiful, modern environment created just for them. Your leadership and compassion will help bring these new walls to life. To the students of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center, this school belongs to you, and you are the reason we are here today. You remind us that ability takes many forms, and that every child, regardless of circumstance, has gifts to offer our world. You are strong, capable, and an essential part of the bright future we are building together. This center is more than bricks and mortar. It is a promise fulfilled. It affirms our commitment to inclusion, equality, and the belief that every child in the Virgin Islands deserves the opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive in an environment that values them fully. To the teachers and caregivers, thank you for your tireless dedication and compassion. To the parents and families, thank you for your faith and perseverance. And to the people of the Virgin Islands, this achievement is yours. Together, we are shaping a society that is more cohesive, more compassionate, and more just. And I'm just going to say a few other remarks off script. I just want to recognize the efforts of the Minister of Education and her team. Let's give them a round of applause. You know, the Minister of Education has some qualities that makes her a real force. I would like to see the person who's going to stop her from accomplishing her mission. She's short, but she's like a little bowling ball. Anything that gets in her way doesn't stand a chance. And she was able to open up the primary school on Jas Van Dyke, which was a great accomplishment for us all. She was able to open up the new buildings at the Elmore Stout High School. So were the first buildings that built there since Lavity Stout built what is now known as the L. Dorothy Turnbull building on that campus. I'm not going to steal her thunder, but she has great, great plans for next door that we should be seeing getting off the ground very soon, and it's it's truly exciting what's taking place in education. And we have plans, not to be forgotten, up in the east. We have plans up in the east for, I believe it's a junior high school, a full secondary school up in the east. So it's an exciting time. And the west, yes. Let me not forget about our plans up in the west and the west. So it's an exciting time. And that's just talking about the educational infrastructure, not even talking about all of the plans for programming and resources and teachers, etc. And I want to also commend the permanent secretary, acting permanent secretary, who's the son of a teacher. And we have our CEO, who was a star teacher. I see her former principal here, Sister Marita Henley, a star teacher, a star principal, and doing an excellent job as CEO. I want to acknowledge Afia Smith, who has the most passion you can have for this particular area. Let's give that entire team a round of applause. I want to acknowledge former Principal Huggins for the war. Let's give her a round of applause. And our current principal, Miss Alistair, Principal Alistair. And I want to commend the teachers and the students. Let's give Alicia another round of applause for that dance. Now, as Alicia was there dancing, I was imagining myself on the stage doing the same moves. And I actually imagined the governor right next to me. We were doing the same moves with the hand movement, and I just imagined myself throwing out my hip. But Alicia, that was excellent. And I love how you pointed and then you did that. Oh man, that was excellent. It's a real special day here in the Virgin Islands. This is a victory for all of us. This is a victory for our entire community, for those with special needs and all the people who support them. And this is a victory for inclusion. This is a victory for equity. May this center continue to inspire generations to come, a lasting symbol of what we can accomplish when we build with love, vision, and unity. I thank you.
Thank you, Premier, for your remarks. I just want to highlight a few persons who are in the midst with us this morning. This institution has gone through a lot of transition since 2007 hurricanes, right? 17 hurricanes. So I want to acknowledge the places that have housed this institution over those few years and up to this present day. So we begin with Altair Scatleaf. Can I have the principals who were for that institute at the time please stand to be recognized? Ms. King, Ms. Headley, Mr. Todman. You could stand. We thank you for graciously accepting and housing this institution during that period of time. Thank you. And then the transition to the Valerie O. Thomas Community Center. And we would like the representative from Social Development to stand. We thank them. Once you work there, yes, we thank you again for housing the institution up until June. And then I'll go back to this person. When I first came into the ministry, I was called into a meeting with Miss Pat Leanne Johnson at the time and Miss Vancy Todd Huggins to look at the first drawings of this institution. And I was lost because it was before my time. But Miss Huggins have been a stalwart in pushing this institution to the place that it's at today. Even though she has retired, 43 years of service in education. Even though she has formally retired, we want to publicly acknowledge Ms. Huggins for being that rock, that voice, the person that championed the building to what we see today. So Ms. Huggins, we thank you, we thank you, we thank you. At this time, we will now invite Sister Vita Greenwood once again to offer blessings of the building. We're coming down of the building, and that will be followed by the vote of thanks by Miss Magdalene Allister, principal of the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center.
Look at what the Lord has done. And if you notice the song, it said, the weeping, the mourning has turned into dancing. And that's come straight out of the heart of a child. Jesus' favorite people. Let's pray. Let's all stand. Lord, we are overwhelmed because you have been so good. And we want to thank you for all those who had their part in bringing the vision to pass. We know in your word it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. But we thank you that today we are flourishing in the British Virgin Islands because of the vision for including these young ones. And so we ask you to give a special blessing, not only from the government to the builders and all those who took part, but to every family that is being represented in this institute. The teachers, the workers, everyone. And we want to thank you for this beautiful building. We pray that as the students come, it is a home away from home. We pray that you will instill in them to cherish it and take care of it. And we ask for your continued protection and covering upon these precious lives. And Lord, what more can we say? You are good, and we thank you. And whatever we fail to ask of you, we pray you will grant it. So in your almighty, precious, glorious name, we now dedicate this beautiful building. Except the Lord builds the house, we labor in vain. And because you have built it, Lord, we rejoice today. So thank you. Thank you for history. Thank you for the story. Thank you for the legacy. And thank you for the future generations that will rejoice in the vision that has come to pass. So thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name we thank you. Amen and amen.
Protocol having been established, I say a pleasant good morning. On behalf of the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, and the wider community of the Virgin Islands, it is my distinct honor and privilege to extend heartfelt thanks to all who has contributed to making this day possible. First and foremost, we thank the government of the Virgin Islands for their steadfast commitment to education, inclusivity, ensuring that our differently able students have a state-of-art facility in which to learn and strive. We recognize the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports for their tireless efforts in coordinating, planning, and bringing this project to completion. Our gratitude extends to the Caribbean Development Bank for their financial support. We also acknowledge the Ministry of Finance, whose role was vital in supporting the financial processes and ensured smooth implementation. A special word of appreciation to Maples BVI. Can you stand, please? Whose generous donation made it possible to fully furnish both the sensory and therapy rooms. Likewise, to the Unite BVI for your contribution towards enhancing this learning environment. To the Virgin Islands Recovery and Development Agency, who skillfully managed to implement the project, we say thank you. To our design consultant, Ms. Lavina Liebert, and her team, we thank you for your creativity, dedication in bringing this vision to life. To Atlan Heavy Equipment, we appreciate your hard work in making the construction a reality. And we thank you every step of the way. We would call you from your jobs to ask you to lift something for us because we have no men on the team, and you were able to do it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A very special thanks to the environmental scientist, Ms. Shannon Gore, where are you? Along with the dedicated volunteers from the Association of Reef Keepers, His Majesty's Prison, various NGOs, sporting organizations, and other public and private partners who are here with us today, for your remarkable contribution to the development of the rain and sensory gardens. To GIS for capturing and sharing today's event. To the ZBVI Radio for providing live coverage. Thank you for keeping the wider community connected to this milestone of celebration. We also thank our able chairlady and liaison officer, Ms. Afia Smith, and all the program participants for leading us to gracefully through today's celebration. A warm thank you, Sister Vita, as we call her, who has been our source of strength for prayers. There were days we needed that. Who continues to bless us and who continue to cover this institution with prayer, we say thank you. Mrs. Huggins. Ms. Huggins, thank you. Thank you for steering me. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for taking every call that I made to you. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Huggins. We appreciate Marcello's for catering, Mr. Abrupen, AZP Publication for providing the tent and sound system, and Ms. Chantel Matthew for the beautiful decor that enhanced today's celebration. A heartfelt thank you to our organizers, Ms. Diana Richardson and Ms. Colleen Penn, for their detailed planning and the commitment that ensured today's event was a success. Finally, staff, can you stand, please? Students stand, parents stand, please. Finally, to the staff, faculty, students, parents, some are on the porch as well. Today is especially for you, for us. Thank you for your patience, your resilience, your unwavering spirit through this journey. Thank you for your patience with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To everyone here present today and who have assisted us in any way, and who has contributed in any way possible, seen or unseen, we extend our deepest, deepest gratitude. Your effort reminds us that when we work together, we can achieve extraordinary things for our students and for the future of the Virgin Islands. Thank you all, and may God continue to bless this beautiful Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center. Thank you.
Thank, Thank you, Principal Alistair, for your heartfelt words and your tireless dedication to your students and staff. We would also like to pause to recognize a long-standing principal of this institution. She's not able to be physically here with us today, but Miss Phyllis George. She has been a long-standing leader of this institution here at Eslyn Henley. So now the moment we have all been waiting for, the official ribbon cutting. So I would invite the Premier, Honorable Natalia Wheatley, Honorable Shari Di Castro, Honorable Kai Reimer, Chief Education Officer, a representative from the RDA, representative from Atlant Construction, principal, and selected students to be ushered around the premises to the entrance as we prepare for the official cutting, followed by official tour of the school. All right? So following the ribbon cutting, we will proceed with an official tour of the new facility. So to ensure everybody gets a chance, we'll be conducting it 2 groups at a time. All right? So I'll give you further instructions. We'll begin with the partners and the family members. You can gather Miss Kellyanne, yes. Come gather them this way, the family members, all ministers of government. You can follow Miss Freeman to the ribbon cutting. Everyone can go around to see the ribbon cutting, and then we'll give you further instructions for the tour. Thank you for being here this morning.
I'll move top of the office in my cable and I bring it back.
Okay, I see you a little close.
Okay, you can tell me how to set them up. Wait, don't touch it, don't touch it. This set up, what? Ready? All right, so the talk, Alice will lead the talk with the governor and all members of the House of Assembly. So you will follow this Alistair, and then I will take the partners and the family members next. And we'll come back around, all right? So we're going to move it quickly and come back to the next one. So partners and family members, we have in the middle, RDA, everyone else.
So the principal's office and the receptionist area. And on your left, we have the... Okay, so let's go. You want to go this way first? Okay. This is the staff. Partners, come follow me, partners, and we have the server rooms. And we have a kitchen. Yes. State of the... Yeah.
A nice school.
Our kitchen.
Look the food there.
Yes. And we have our laundry room. Oh, wow. So we have our laundry room.
We had an interesting meeting in Brussels, but let's talk when we get to the house. So, how are you? Good to see you, man. Yeah, all is
This is the auditorium space. It's actually going to have a trampoline in the middle. To help with the mobility and flexibility. And so the floor will be able to remove and put back on.
This is the work.
welcome back, sir.
And then we have our adjustable sink, so they can, yes.
So our students who may be wheelchair bound as well, you can get here.
So we have it, yes. Well deserved. Yes. Great. Since we're here, we can come through. So this is our classroom, our intermediate class.
I see someone new face.
Yes, so this is our middle set of students.
One of the things I want I'm supposed to highlight was the lift. We have a lift and a few other classrooms. Okay, so we show you actually
Yes,
in the therapy room. What's the
How
lifts?
that works.
Yeah, this is one of the lifts.
Yes.
For students who are wheelchair.
Oh.
But we'll show you what's
Yes. We have one in the outdoor class. Eventually, outside for them. Yes. And they have this sensory walk path that they can use as well.
What a purpose of this?
We're going to plant to keep down the weeds, but we're going to be planting some medicinal plants. Yeah. So this is our music room setup. The students are going to be learning the different instruments they're asking for them. Yes. We have some drummers, we have some for the keyboard. So this is our music room in the intro.
Thank you so
How are you? It's a real man.
Who's there?
Oh, sorry, not stealing what direction. Sorry, excuse me.
Don't get close to it. Don't get close to it.
No, let me.
The thing took the hoist.
We're going to take a few minutes. Principal, you could just tell us a little bit about
Okay, so
where we are
welcome
with the premiere.
to our therapy room.
Can't see.
So this is a room where the students are going to come to regulate themselves that have sensory issues, so they can come, they can jump, because we have jumpers, so they can jump in the basket. They can use the obstacle course. They have boards that they can spin on the boards. They can skate, they can climb, they can jump. So this is the room for them, and when we have the occupational therapist, can also use in here for services for the students. And in all the rooms that students use, we have this lift. So this is to help us lift students so we don't have to do it. So we have it where we can move it across whoever they are. So the child, depending on how the child is, if they have upper body strength, they will hold on and it will carry them. Those who doesn't, we put them on this and it carries them. And then we're able to drop the lift to their height, and then we're able to lift. So we have this one especially to put them down in the basket and enjoy themselves. This is a demonstration. Any questions? Good? Awesome. Yes. I want to show you our sensory
Really
room.
with the school in the UK.
Yes.
And when you go to that school,
Okay.
it's called Glenwood.
Next time.
But the person who designed that was
Went to that. Yeah. That was a
And
concern.
one of the, I think probably the biggest purpose built special needs school in the UK. It's called Glenwood. Glenwood. Y'all should visit.
I would like to show you the sensory room.
Yeah, you go.
How are you? Yes. How you doing, baby love? All right.
But I'm very happy you. So, yeah, I was shoot people go.
Tantrums, and we need to be able to calm them down, regulate their behavior before we take them back to class. This is where we would bring them.
This is the song.
The sensory. Yes, to help them regulate, yes. So this is supposed to be much more darker. Yes.
And you could change the lighting to
The light can change, yes.
You got a nice school, though.
Yes.
You got a nice
I was holding
school.
back my tears.
I don't think you're
We
gonna
are so
find another
grateful.
school like that. I'll have to visit that one in Cayman. Like, it can't be nice. It can't be nice.
This one, it's a lot bigger to facilitate for students.
This is as good. This has a specialized last year.
Yeah, have the cameras and everything in there to make sure.
Wait, so this changes lights, yeah. So we are so grateful.
And you got some nice school.
Thank you.
Good.
This will be the nurses station for the nurse that we just approved in the court, correct? So for next year, officially the budget will be announced. Principal, you happy to go there, right?
Oh, you don't know.
What's this song?
This is another one of the equipment.
Another lift
Lift
that's
to help
mobile.
them.
Like a mobile
It's
lift.
more so we can move it around. State of the art
With this
equipment.
too, we can also move it. We have a hygiene room. So it's a huge room that have a shower and another bed like this to help us lift the children and child who can't move. Put them on the bed and we can clean them up. Yes. Alright, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it was a joy. You're welcome. I'm going to bring you in the room where you can collect.
Let me know I'm ready to go.
Yes, you get a chance to go to the marine school.
About these RFPs with no information in them. But anyway, moving on. No problem. Oh, I guess the tours are separate from the eats. It's nice, but you know, I don't myself. Actually, yeah, in the area. So I'm based here.
Ready for me?
You ready? Good day, I am Information Officer Angelique Lutzum, and today we are here at the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center, where we just bore witness to the official opening and dedication of this monumental institution. I'm joined right now by the Minister for Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, Honorable Cherie De Castro. And Honorable De Castro, I would love to hear how you feel about being here in this moment after so many years of waiting, seeing this school open.
And it's a weight off of my shoulders. And just walking through the facility, seeing how the principal and teachers have embraced it, and most importantly, 2 words we consecutively heard as we entered every single room. Thank you. And it was just a resounding thank you throughout. The equipment, the specialized equipment to support our differently abled students or exceptional students is in this building, from our lifts to the hygiene room, the therapy room, the sensory room, the nurses station. Come January 2025, we petitioned for an additional school nurse position to be fully stationed here at the Eslyn Henley Richiez Learning Center. And from the trampolines, man, I'm just so in awe. I really want to thank the designer, the architect, who really brought the ministry's vision to life. Most people don't know, but we have to put together a scope, and then the architect really lifts that scope off of paper and transforms it into the building we see. But the contractor who did the heavy lifting and really sought to brick mortar from every window and every door, the care and the connection to this building is very prevalent, and I think it stands as one of the most modern schools in the OECS and by extension the Caribbean. And so I just want to acknowledge those persons, the RDA, but most importantly my team at the Ministry of Education. We have labored, we have toiled in the vineyard, and the patience over the last 8 years has truly brought this moment to fruition. And so to the parents, to the students, we just want to say thank you, because your patience and perseverance is what got us to this point.
I definitely agree. So how would you say that this new facility complements other ministry initiatives aimed at improving educational outcomes and quality of life?
So definitely one of our priority areas for the ministry, we have 3, and one is infrastructure. And so we often speak a lot about what happens in education, but the truth is the building, the environment, is very impactful in terms of the outcomes that we want. And so being able to build this modern facility here centrally is just such a big thing for us. But more than that, we understand that without infrastructure alone cannot meet the task. So the trained professionals, the special education, principal and teachers and support staff that are qualified and stationed at this institution really speaks to that overall mandate as well of training, which is our second priority. And then resources. When you walk into the space and you see how much the equipment and the resources from sensory to therapy is just all over the place, the technology, the musical instruments, it just speaks to a fully resourced school. And so I really want to thank the government of the Virgin Islands for investing in this, and our partners, sensory room and therapy room. Of course, Maples stepped forward first and said, we're here, we want to help. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. And then, of course, Unite BVI stepped in and said, we're going to furnish the rest of the school. Tell us what you need, give us your wish list. And they came forward and they supported us fully. So I'm just, man, the words are coming out, but what I feel in my heart in terms of the reality that this is a stamp of approval that every single child in the Virgin Islands matters. And I want to just encourage the public to come and visit this facility, see that we have expanded our focus on special education, and that we will continue to ensure that we resource not just this school, but all schools with the professionals, with the resources and the infrastructure necessary to ensure that our exceptional students are taken care of.
Thank you so much, Minister.
Thank you.
So now we're going to take an opportunity to speak to a member of the RDA board, Mr. Shea Vanterpool. Shea Alexander, apologies. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, as we all have echoed over and over, today is quite the monumental occasion. So I want you to let us know, what was RDA's role in bringing this project from concept to completion?
So as we have done many, many times in the past, the RDA's responsibility was to act as the project manager. So what that meant is advising obviously on the consultative element, figuring out what it was needed, and then helping to streamline and manage the process of implementation. So the actual construction that happened, we served as generally have a project manager come on, a single person who manages the crew. We serve as an organization in that same vein at a broader scale for projects of this magnitude.
Nice. So this facility definitely represents a major step forward for inclusive education in the Virgin Islands. What impact do you hope that it would have on students, teachers, and the wider community?
Well, I think it's twofold. I think on the larger scale, because of the fact that this is in fact a pioneering process that we've had here, I hope that it actually inspires the broader Caribbean region to consider inclusive education and to consider it in a way that goes beyond just talk shop, but actually implementation. So having edifices and structures and processes that really allow for educating all students across all facets of ability and interest and demographic. I think for us locally, it gives an opportunity to really see in concrete terms a focus on everybody being included in processes, not just education, but I think we had Mr. Crabb, the contractor, talk about opportunities for individuals to actually work as well. The Minister of Education has in the past, and I'm sure she echoes the sentiment today, talked about education from not just learning in school, opening books, but being able to implement that as an employee or potentially as an employer, as a business person. So I think for us as a territory, this is an opportunity to see in hard terms what it means to give everybody a chance and to think more about how we could do that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alexander, for your time.
Okay, thank you so much.
So today is definitely, as we've stated, a historic occasion, and right now I am joined by the principal of this institution, Miss Alistair. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing extremely well today.
Thank you. You're welcome. So I want to know, how do you feel at this very moment, seeing after all these years you finally have your permanent home?
Words, I don't have the words, to be honest. I have reflected on this journey to where we are now. I started working at the school. I left, I came back, I work again, I left, and now that's to show you how many years it have been. We are excited. I am excited for the students. We are finally home. This have really touched our hearts. For the students have talked about it, how it would be for them to get into the new home. And to be here, trust me, words, I don't have the words to say, but we are grateful and thankful.
I'm sure the community definitely echoes those sentiments. It has been quite the emotional day. It felt really good seeing the students participate in the ceremony as well. I mean, I'm sure you feel extremely proud.
Oh, I even cried when she was dancing. It was very emotional. Today is a very emotional day. And we are extra on behalf of the staff, students, parents, and I would say parents, they have shared their gratitude for the school finally opening, and their child have a place they can call home. Not even school, but home.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Ms. Alistair.
Thank you.
So we have one more interview, and we're actually going to be interviewing the designer of this exceptional institution. Hello, how are you feeling today?
Oh, so excited, so thrilled to see this coming together, or to see that it has come together.
So for those that don't know you, introduce yourself to the people.
My name is Lavina Lieberd. I am the principal architect at Tiger Chi Architecture, which is based in the BVI, and I also have some work in St. Kitts and Nevis as well.
So, how does it feel going from plans to actually standing within the institution?
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's great. It's been such a long haul. And I have to really give a lot of credit to my team, because my mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineers, led by Marlon Massicott, did a fantastic job. You've seen the open cable trays, routing everything, so it's easy to maintain. And my structural engineer, Ricky Dawson, when you see that central hallway, that lovely skylight from end to end of the building, they did an amazing job. They really upped the level of what I could do. So, and one more, Dr. Gore, Shannon Gore, who brought the environmental aspect in and monitoring and so on, and my consultant in the UK, Sarah Curl, who specializes in special educational needs school, who's since retired, and so I have to send her pictures. It's so amazing to be standing here right now.
Yes, and I know that this job definitely took a lot of research, a lot of hands. So for those that don't know, let them know how much research, how much work it took for you to actually build this school, purpose-built, first in the OECS of its kind. What was that entire experience? I'm sure you were probably a bit stressed.
Well, first of all, I know I'm so glad you asked that question because a lot of people when talking to an architect, they say, "How long it take you to draw those plans?" But no, you're exactly right. The research before you even start to understand the site, understand the context, understand the needs of the building, and what should really go into it and how it should really function. All of that has to come first. And we started this journey in the middle of 2019. Well, no, the proposal first to win the project was September 2018. We started working on it after the contract was awarded and everything, August, September 2019. And just as we got the initial designs down, just as we spoke to DDM, procurement, Ministry of Education, started having all those conversations, COVID hit. Wow. So getting anyone to respond to, I have a design for you, forget it. Because the Ministry of Education needed to get the entire school system working remotely, right? So that was a journey. And then having the project transferred over to the RDA and working on that with them through the various project managers and so on, working with my quantity surveyor. It really has been a long haul, but it's really great to see it happen. I would say, I think your original question was about the research phase, but the research came at the beginning, took about 3 or 4 months, but also was ongoing through the process of designing it and making sure the designs met the standard that we wanted. You know, at one point I sent back certain aspects to be redesigned. So yeah, it really took a long time, but we wanted to be thorough and we wanted to absolutely get it right as much as we could.
And with a facility like this, you would want to ensure that that would be the case. I want to thank you so much for your time, and also thank you for all the work that you did along with your team on this institution.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for. Thank you.
All right, we have one more interview. Hello, introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. I'm the Director of Program Strategy at the Recovery and Development Agency. My name is Kenesha Forbes.
Nice to meet you, Ms. Forbes. So tell us, what was your role in this entire institution and its conception?
Well, interestingly enough, when the Caribbean Development Bank first started thinking about the rehabilitation and the recovery and rehabilitation loan, I was actually in the Ministry of Finance as a policy analyst. So I helped in developing the plans for this institution as well as the entire program for the RRL. Since then, I joined the RDA after the hurricanes. In 2019, I started at the RDA, and I was the monitoring and evaluation specialist then, and now I'm the Director of Program Strategy. Strategy, we think about how various projects that the RDA does link into the broader vision for development for the territory, and also look at monitoring and evaluating that impact over time. Excited to have been part of this process in terms of developing the structure. Thanking the team at the RDA of various partners, the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, the Ministry of Finance, the Government of the Virgin Islands, or private sector donors, etc. It's been really a community effort in creating this structure, and excited to be a part of it.
Well, I'm sure the community will also agree. We're happy that you all put in the time and the work to create something for our students and something that would last and impact a number of students as the years go by. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to interview the Premier, Honorable Natalia Wheatley. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well. It's a special day for the people of the Virgin Islands. This is an excellent facility.
Indeed it is. So how do you feel about being here right now witnessing this monumental occasion?
A great sense of pride. You know, I was Minister of Education when this project commenced. Of course, it was a part of the Recovery and Development loan, but of course we engaged Lavina Leibord as architect. And actually, she had a consultant from one of the biggest purpose-built special education schools in the United Kingdom, a school called Glenwood. And the consultant gave me a tour of Glenwood, which the consultant designed. And I see a lot of elements in this building that are similar to those at Glenwood. And when I said to you Glenwood is top of the line, state of the art, world class facility, the fact that we have a school here where this, the consultant who designed that did work on this school along with Lavina Leibord just shows you the quality of what we have here. Trust me, it is truly world class, the facility that we have here. And we're looking forward to the students being able to grow and develop with this school.
So, as the first purpose-built facility for students with diverse learning needs in the OECS region, how do you see this center influencing education in neighboring territories?
I think it's a model. I would like to visit the school in the Cayman Islands just to see where this school ranks, but I think it's a hard time beating this. I mean, the school in the Cayman Islands is probably bigger. They have a bigger population. But, this school is extremely impressive. I think that anybody who visits the school and looks at the school would see it as a standard and see it as a model for, education for those who are differently able.
I definitely agree. Well, Honorable Premier, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, and you're doing a great job.
Trying my best.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. My name is Angelique Letsom. I am the Information Officer for the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs, and Sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. You put me on the spot, boy. Oh, my God.